Okay, I'd just like to introduce Dale Eck, who is the Director of the Global Forecast Center at the Weather Channel.
I'm Dale Eck. I'm the director of our Global Forecast Center here at the Weather Channel. I've been here 25 years. I started out as an on-camera meteorologist coming out of Penn State University with my bachelor's degree. And I've seen a lot of extreme weather over the past 25 years. What got me into meteorology, I love snow, but through the years I've seen plenty of severe weather outbreaks, flooding events, as well as hurricanes, and all of those weather phenomena really grab my interest, including the extremes in temperature as well. This week, I'm going to be leading each day by giving a weather briefing so all of us can interact on what weather we expect over the next several days, out to 10 days, and how the weather might affect us here in Breckenridge, Colorado, and I hope it is plenty of snow.
I'm Dr. Greg Forbes. I've been severe weather expert here at the Weather Channel now for more than 12 years, but I've known Dale Eck longer than that. I was on the faculty at Penn State Department of Meteorology previously. He was a student of mine, an excellent forecaster then, an excellent forecaster now. In fact, he heads up our Global Forecast Center. That's the group of meteorologists behind the scenes that use computers and then their experience to mold our forecasts that you see on weather.com and on the air. So we're glad to have him at the Weather Channel, and we're glad to have him here.
Simplicity to take us through this. Starting off with the satellite this morning, relatively quiet across the north. Our biggest feature is this storm in Texas. That's going to produce a lot of rain and even some snow pretty far to the south. A little bit of a clipper here. It's producing rain in northern Michigan. The story of this winter so far. Up in the UP, it is snowing. And there is another weak front that's moving into the northwest. May play a role in the weather here as we head on into maybe Wednesday night. Look at the radar showing that little clipper across the north. A little bit of light rain showers around the Puget Sound, but the bulk of the moisture here associated with our southern system, and you see more and more blue on there. We're getting a little more snow and could get some pretty decent accumulations. And they're getting some welcome rain in Texas, which is definitely a good thing there. Let's go ahead to kind of step through what's going on. So the biggest feature, as you can see, the frontal system across the south. A lot of mild air with that. Fog's been a problem the last few days. The rain is picking up in Texas, and the snow from West Texas down toward near El Paso. So that's some of our major features. Most of the north is pretty quiet right now. This is early morning. Temperatures are barely below freezing. Some of the interior west is. It just continues to be mild across most of the country as it has most of this winter, and these are the forecast highs for today. Look at that. Hardly anybody staying below freezing except where we're getting that snow in the southwest and in northern New England where they will be getting a little bit of snow. But to put it in perspective, that's compared to average for just about the whole country. Continues to be above average except for the southwest. Here's a look at the forecast model for this evening. Low pressure down across the Gulf Coast states. The low mainly in the Gulf, but we may get a little bit of severe down here right along the immediate Texas coast. Rain, a lot of it across the lower plains, and then a little bit of snow in West Texas. And there's our front pushing into the northwest, and that may play a role in our forecast. And there is some chilly air right now up in northern New England. This is going into tomorrow morning, the low tracking right near the Gulf Coast states. So again, a lot of rain in Texas, Louisiana, and across the Gulf Coast states, and south and near the low, maybe looking at some severe weather right along the immediate Gulf into southern Louisiana, and then spreading toward the Florida Panhandle as we head on through Tuesday. Our northwest system starting to fall apart a little bit. And temperatures, you can see the zero line at 850, well removed from this system. So once it gets out of West Texas, it's going to be just pretty much a rain producer as it makes its way east. Here's a look at the forecast for snow. So nice little snowstorm for West Texas. Some places in the north wish that would happen, I'm sure, but up to about 5 to 8 inches at Midland forecast. That's by the our Global Forecast Center at the Weather Channel, and then you can see the copious amounts of rain to the east. Tracking the low as we go on through then tonight and tomorrow, the low moving on up into the Gulf Coast states. Plenty of rain along the immediate Gulf with some thunderstorms, and a few severe storms are possible. Notice our Pacific system coming over the ridge. It's going to be dropping down through the Rockies, but typically those north-south systems don't bring a lot of snow, as you don't really get the fetch of, moisture coming in off the Pacific there. And as far as the severe goes, here's a look at SPC's outlook for today. Slight risk. They've got about a 15% chance of some hail and wind, 5%. Yeah, there's been some local tornadoes I saw. There were some warnings out. And then tomorrow, as that low lifts across the Gulf Coast states, some locally severe weather. I guess Dr. Forbes' Torcon is at about a 3 or 4. The system's
farther north than that.
yeah.
All the way up to the Mississippi-Tennessee border with
Some severe far up there. So anyway, there will be some severe. It's not this time of year, climatologically, it's difficult unless you get a real crashing potent system. So this one has the moisture, but the instability is not terrific. Then looking ahead, again, this storm system as we go forward, notice how it is really disjointed from the cold air. So rain through the Tennessee Valley. This is heading, let's see, that's 12Z, that's Wednesday morning. And then by Wednesday evening, you got your low pressure system coming on up into the mid-Atlantic. Again, this is all going to be rain except for maybe northern New England eventually. Taking note here of the little bit of moisture printed out here across Colorado. We'll take a little closer look at that. But while there will be some severe, there won't be any snow with this storm. And as it moves on through, the big story here is going to be the rain amounts. We're looking at locally up to 3 to 4 inches of rain from north central East Texas through Louisiana and up into the Gulf Coast states, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi, and even some pretty good amounts as you head on up into the mid-Atlantic region. Pretty large area of 1 inch, and locally you'll get some areas of 2 or 3 inches of rain. Again, a little bit of moisture printed out here across Colorado. Well, what I like to do for this area of Colorado is look at the 700 millibar flow and the relative humidities. Here's Wednesday morning. There's the disturbance dropping on down, but again, it's moving north to south. You're not getting any Pacific moisture into this system, so it's just kind of some upper level dynamics. We'll try to squeeze out what it can as it moves its way to the south as we go on into Wednesday morning. And this is SPC's forecast for probability of 4 inches or more. So they're only talking about 10%. So no, I think that's a pretty good forecast too. Probably not going to amount to all that much. As we continue on through the week, this is looking out to, where are we here, 13th? That's what, Thursday afternoon. The lows moving out through New England. There will be a pretty good cold shot here, but compared to what was advertised last week, again, this one's not going to really live up to much of its hype. We're probably only looking at -10 to maybe a little -20 air getting involved in this thing. And eventually, with the actual front itself, it may start to squeeze out a little bit of snow in the interior Northeast, maybe the Poconos, Catskills, up on into the mountains of New England. But for most of the rest of the country, as we head on through, this is Friday morning, it looks generally dry for most of the country. And that, again, the cold behind this thing, -10 air at 850, that may bring it back to normal. That's about it. It just isn't getting cold across the lower 48 this winter so far to speak of. Looking ahead, this is for Friday evening and then on into Saturday midday. Once again, we're going to get another low developing down across the southwest. So, Texas and the big drought they've been in all of this year, they've gotten some nice wet systems so far as we've gone through the winter season, and it looks like that trend is going to continue with just some near normal air across the northern tier of the country. And then it looks like that low as we head through the weekend, mainly tracking along the immediate Gulf. And then behind that, nothing big, but pretty good system there up on into British Columbia, but that's where they've been heading all winter, so we'll see what happens after that. So again, the big stories are the snow in West Texas, a lot of rain and maybe some severe along the Gulf, and just again, not much snow, and we may get a little bit here Wednesday night, maybe a couple of inches, but that looks to be about it. Okay?